a key, a string, and a short rope.
You need to make notes. You made notes. Yeah.
Oh my God, I remember that glaringly, and I've always questioned it. Like, okay, so this Bible will turn, whoever it turns to, what it be?
Yeah, I mean, so
ignorance.
Yeah, so the book is divided into 4 parts. So part 1 is actually, let me take a step back. There are 23 chapters in this book. When my brother Yemi saw this book for the first time, when he saw the proof, because he chose not to engage with any editing, he just wants to sort of read the final thing.
He just wants to read it.
Yeah. So he said, he was like, "Wow, you wrote all these words," because it's pretty thick.
It is.
But yeah, it's actually it's pretty thick. Now, the thing is, so the first part is induction, and that covers maybe, I think, the first maybe 6 or 7 chapters or thereabouts. It's the collision of me as a buttered okay boy from OAU with Nigeria, with our being the place that happened. So everybody else from different walks of life and me and people like me collided together in this mess of a bubble, and you have to find your way out. So it's understanding and unpacking what that feels like, because I mean, some of this stuff you never see them in Ife. If you drive from Ife to Ondo town, it's only a 30-minute drive.
Really?
But yes, Ondo town.
That's so true. That's so true. Yes.
30 minutes drive. But Ondo town is in Ondo State, obviously. But
yes,
in Ondo people eat. At least they said they eat dogs.
Yeah, in Ondo town.
Yeah, Ondo town.
I was making a point to tell people that's Ondo town, not Ondo State. Okay.
Ondo State.
All right.
Now, so to the Ife people, among other groups, this is like, oh my God, shocking, right? But it's only 30 minutes away from us. You know, so everybody has, and the Ife people where I grew up, they also have their own weirdness. So everybody has their own little way. Now imagine if you now have all these kids from different parts of Nigeria showing up in this school. They all brought all these cultures with them. So whether it's the Bible thing with a string, whether it's, you know, saying that they grab Ojo, it's a medium, all these things, one mojo, you know. But it just so happens that, yeah, you know, when the football match is on, you know, and always winning, one mojo, you know, it just, the probability of these things being true later on looks a bit flaky, but there was something in it. It's very hard to put your hand on it, but there was something in it that you couldn't easily explain away.
Yeah, that's interesting, because what was really surprising to me is that I wouldn't think that you know of all of these things. You know, I'm the village boy as far as I'm concerned, probably the most village boy in our set. And, you know,
I don't think so.
Well, now I'm starting to feel a little different. I always wanted to...
I can think of a few people, but I'm not going to name names, right?
Right. But actually, it was a trophy that I didn't mind holding on to. Like, as the most village boy in that school at that point, I really didn't mind. Especially, I embrace it more the older I get, because I felt like there were some things that I know that people would never spend holidays. I spent... before I became 10 years old, I spent quite a few holidays in the village with my grandparents. And literally, like I saw my cousin rolling a tire down the street like this naked, and I wanted to be that person when I was like 5, 6, 7 years old, and I couldn't because, are you mad, right?
The right guy here.
Yeah, I wanted to be the little kid who ride around in Baba's bicycle around the village, you know. I couldn't because I'm just here for 2-3 weeks, whatever that holiday was, right?
Before they send you back.
You know, I wanted to, literally sleeping outside on the cocoa pavement where Baba Mansa cocoa. You know, I spent some time. I always wanted more of that, but once I ended up in Aquinas, all of that shut off. We all going to village, you know. Speaking of Baba, the crush on Baba. You want to shed some more lights on this? Who had a crush on Baba? Who was Baba? Was it Baba or Baba? Which one?
Yeah, so yeah, as I said in the book, I deliberately, obviously, I coded names. If you think about these names, you can always come up with maybe 3 or 4.
You don't have to tell us the girl. Just tell her who Baba is.
No. So yeah, So once you pick that name and you expand it out, you will come up with maybe 5 or 6 names. One of those names will be correct. So I gave enough I left enough in the names to allow people to kind of guess a bit, but obviously I can't say who.
This one is going to destroy the WhatsApp group.
Let me put it this way. So the girl was in B class, right? And can I say which class the guy was in now? I can't say it, because if I say it, you'll be onto it very quickly in a flash.
Yeah, because my head is already going there. I know at least 4 people in B class that
there you go,
that will share something like that with you.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
no,
let's leave it alone.
Yeah, it's one of the. I mean, the point of that story was, it's deeper than that. So these are teenagers who are grappling with puberty, urges of relationships, but you were not allowed to have any of these expressions in any form at all. But you couldn't pretend like it wasn't going on.
Yes.
So the emotional and mental stress that these secrets put on the kids, they just have to deal with it. In fact, this person also told me that when their puberty changes were coming out and it was obvious, they stuck out. And the teachers...
What do you mean stuck out? What kind of English is that?
So, the timings are different. So, I
know satire didn't teach you that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. So, but the satire is one of our teachers. So imagine if you were maybe the first in your class.
Right.
Experience a period.
Right.
There was no female teacher that... there was no guidelines. Nobody said, if something is going on with you like this...
There's zero.
So the girls had to basically deal with it themselves.
So there's zero education from your parents. Most of them, their parents never touched on that. And there's zero at the school, except if you are reading biology book.
Correct.
Which even was never taught in a way that's applicable to you as a real person.
Exactly. So if you look at some of the videos we've done, the Animoji videos we've done for this book, this thing comes up, and it's a conversation between a posh lady who is like pretending to be working for the publisher, and a very bush, typical, Nigerian guy.
Yeah. I will link some of them at the bottom of this description, so that
when this question was brought up, it was like, you know what? They cover this in biology lesson. There's no book, no guidelines that says, girls, if you're going through XYZ, please feel free to reach out to Miss or Mrs. X. There's none of that. So when this shock happens...
So wait. So even though there's a person with a title counselor in that school...
Exactly. These words counselors meant nothing, right? I mean, you're supposed to have a counselor, but they were more... a place to run to if you
run out of Gary.
Run out of Gary on paper. But to share deep stuff with, you were taking a risk. In fact, last week's 2 Saturdays ago, I met some of our colleagues for the first time in 25 years at a barbecue. Shout out to Kazim and Fresh.
Yes, I saw some of those pictures. Yes.
And Bunmi. And some of the stories that the girls shared, they're so bad that you can't put them in a book.